I've always loved mysteries. There's something about the unknown that just pulls me in, like a moth to a flame. The thrill of uncovering secrets, the excitement of piecing together a puzzle that no one else has solved. And, well, I'd heard whispers about Black Hollow, a place that seemed to exist only in the shadows of conversations, a town that people spoke of in hushed tones, as if afraid to bring it fully into the light. A town that seemed to have been erased from maps, from memory. No records, no history. It was as if Black Hollow had been swallowed by time itself, leaving behind only ghostly whispers and eerie tales. I knew I had to go. The mystery was too compelling, too irresistible. I needed to see it for myself, to walk its empty streets and feel its forgotten history beneath my feet.
Sarah drove for hours down dusty roads, her mind racing with questions and possibilities. What had happened to Black Hollow? Why had it vanished so completely? The sun setting behind her cast long shadows across the landscape, adding to the sense of mystery and anticipation. Finally she found it, nestled between hills and shrouded in fog. The air was thick with an eerie silence, as if the town itself was holding its breath. The sign was barely legible: Black Hollow, population unknown. It stood as a silent sentinel, guarding the secrets of a town lost to time.
The town was eerily intact. It was as if time had stopped, preserving every detail in a haunting stillness. The buildings stood tall, untouched by the passage of years, their windows staring blankly into the void. Houses were furnished, shops stocked, with items that seemed ready for use. It was like stepping into a snapshot of a life abruptly interrupted. The furniture was neatly arranged, and the shelves were filled with goods, waiting for customers who would never come. As if everyone had just up and left in the middle of their day. Half-eaten meals were left on tables, and clothes were still hanging on lines. The sense of sudden departure was palpable, making the air thick with unanswered questions.
The silence was heavy, you know? It pressed down on us, making every step feel like an intrusion. The absence of sound was almost deafening, amplifying the eerie atmosphere of the place. It was only broken by the wind whistling through the buildings. The wind seemed to carry whispers, as if the town itself was trying to tell us its story, a story of sudden abandonment and lingering spirits.
Sarah, she felt it first, a presence like someone was watching us. Her eyes darted around, searching for the source of her unease. It was an unsettling feeling, one that made the hairs on the back of our necks stand up. It sent a shiver down her spine. The feeling was contagious, spreading through the group like a cold breeze. We all felt it, that inexplicable sense of being observed by unseen eyes.
They began filming, documenting the town and its unsettling stillness. Something wasn't right. The more they explored, the more they felt the weight of the town's history pressing down on them. It was as if the town itself was alive, holding its breath, waiting for something to happen.
Days turned into weeks. The shadows grew longer, colder, and then the occurrences began.
Yeah, we heard footsteps echoing in the empty streets. Doors would open and close on their own.
Whispers in the dead of night. We caught glimpses, fleeting figures darting behind buildings, gone before the camera could focus.
Sarah knew they weren't alone. Something else was in Black Hollow, something ancient, something hungry.
Panic set in. The air was thick with fear, and the once bustling town square turned into a scene of chaos. People were running in every direction, their faces etched with terror. It was as if an unseen force had gripped the entire town, squeezing the life out of it. We decided to leave, pack up, and get out while we still could. The urgency was palpable. We threw our equipment into the van, not caring about the order or safety. The only thought in our minds was to escape, to get as far away from this cursed place as possible.
But it was too late. A shadowy figure emerged from the darkness, blocking our path. Its presence was suffocating, and we felt an overwhelming sense of dread. It was as if the very shadows had come to life, intent on trapping us. Something trapped us, herded us like sheep. We were cornered with no way out. The narrow streets that once felt familiar now seemed like a labyrinth designed to ensnare us. Every turn we took led to another dead end, another trap.
A chase ensued through the fog-choked streets. The mist was so thick that it was hard to see more than a few feet ahead. We stumbled and tripped, our breaths coming in ragged gasps. The sound of our pursuers' footsteps echoed ominously, growing closer with each passing second. Sarah got separated from us. In the confusion and panic, she took a wrong turn and vanished into the fog. We called out her name, but our voices were swallowed by the oppressive silence. The fear in her eyes was the last thing we saw before she disappeared. She ran for her life. Every instinct told her to keep moving, to not look back. The street seemed to stretch endlessly, and every corner she turned only led to more darkness. Her heart pounded in her chest, a relentless drumbeat of terror.
The last thing she saw was a towering figure, eyes like burning coals. It stood there, waiting, as if it had been expecting her. The glow of its eyes pierced through the darkness, and in that moment, she knew there was no escape.
Then darkness, silence. The town, once alive with activity, was now eerily quiet. The only sound was the distant echo of our own footsteps as we searched in vain for any sign of Sarah. The town vanished again, taking Sarah with it. It was as if it had never existed, swallowed whole by the night. We stood there in the empty streets, feeling the weight of our loss. No trace of her, the crew, or Black Hollow remained, erased, forgotten. The town had claimed another victim, leaving nothing but memories and unanswered questions. We were left to wonder if we would ever find our way out, or if we too would become part of the legend of Black Hollow.